This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick Mason.
Welcome back!
It's good to be back, Mason.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
That is the theme song of this show now.
It is, that's correct, yes.
We're taking it.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you?
You really breezed through that intro.
I've been practicing it every day.
Have you? Wow.
I've stopped doing anything else. I've neglected my family. I just wanted to get it right.
I was going to say exercise the body, exercise the mind, but you're not exercising the body anymore?
No.
I mean, it's obvious. So...
And I'm only doing that one thing, so I guess that's not really exercising the
Yeah.
mind either.
I mean, prior to this, we went to a disgusting fast food restaurant.
Yes, we did. I hadn't had it in a long time.
Yeah.
I've been away, Mason.
I understand.
But now I'm back, ready to
We're both back.
do this.
Thanks to everybody who came back.
Yeah,
The
and-
listener, if you will.
And thank you to everybody who downloaded the best of 2018 episode.
Our dumbest premise yet? Maybe.
Perhaps so.
For anybody who doesn't know, how that works is you go, like a week beforehand, you go, can you think of a premise for the bottle
Think of a
episode, the clip
hilarious
show?
premise,
And I go,
Mason.
sure thing. And then it comes to like the day and you go, have you thought of one? And I go, no. And then you turn the microphone on and then I wait 30 seconds and I think of something and then you just have to roll with it, regardless of how dumb it is.
That is exactly
So
it.
you're a good sport.
Thank you.
Hey, a bit of housekeeping up top.
Let's do it.
we-
quick thanks to Rob Collins for putting that together as well.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
Yeah, so that was great. Yeah.
We did in the new year. We did a Justice League commentary.
We did.
Which is weeklyplanetpod.bandcamp.com.
Or on patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Yeah.
And look, I would like to say we had fun with it.
I had fun with it.
No, you didn't.
Doing
you
the
hated
comment.
it.
No, I enjoyed doing the commentary.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, because with this one, because I think I thought I was going to be pleasantly surprised by this one. Because when
Did you really?
when we rewatched Suicide Squad for the last one, I didn't hate it
it's
as much. I'm
fine,
like, this
yeah.
was fun to watch and make some jokes about or whatever. But this one, oh, I mean, listen to it.
Yeah.
But boy, they were towards the end especially. There's a lot
Yeah.
of us going, what are you doing?
Why would you make this decision?
It's because I thought it'd be fun to make fun of the cheesy
Yeah.
green screen effects.
That's
and
how- that's what
I mean, a lot
that's
of it
what I
was,
liked
but
about it.
I think towards it, it's also not the longest, but it feels the longest.
It does feel really...
Yeah.
It probably doesn't feel as long as the extended Batman, Superman...
That's probably
whatever,
true. Yeah.
but
Anyway,
yeah.
we did that.
We
give
did that.
Give that a listen. That'd
But
be
you've
great.
been on a few things, haven't you?
I was on one thing. I think
Okay.
I was on our friend Dave Warnicki's podcast, Book Cheat.
Love it.
With the great Joel Dusha from Sans
Oh,
Pencil
yeah, he's a good
Radio.
dude, yeah.
And Dave Warnicki told us all about Hamlet, the play Hamlet.
I've heard it's a very good episode.
Thank you.
From you. You told me that.
I did. Oh, yeah, I did. It was a good episode. No, I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Because it's my second appearance on the show, so I
Yeah.
was more like I was loose, a bit more loosen up, and I could
I understand
really
that.
give that Dave Warnicki what for.
Do you think you've got
know?
better rapport with those two than you do me?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, then that's a stirring endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
There's one bit of news you want to touch on that we just missed before.
Oh, before we went on holiday,
we went on
right?
holidays,
yeah. We
Which you reminded me of,
straight after we went on holiday season break, Christmas break. We can say Christmas break now.
Thank God.
Thank you. It was revealed by the director of The Predator.
Yes.
The most recent one. What's
Well,
his
someone
name again?
involved in the Shane Black.
Shane Black. It might have been a production designer or something.
Yeah.
Put up on Instagram, and it went around all the news websites what the potential alternate endings for The Predator were.
Yeah.
A movie we did not care for.
No.
But the finale for The Predator, spoilers, is that the good predators have come to Earth with like a predator killing weapon.
Yeah.
So
Or one predator.
yeah,
at the
so
very
so
least.
humans can help fight the bad predators.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be this entirely CGI suit of powered armor that humans put on it. It makes them look like a predator with these weird guns on it.
It was great.
And it wasn't great. It was bad.
It was a bad movie.
But some of the alternate ones were they built a sort of an alien like a predator looking, no, like a facehugger looking breathing apparatus
Yes.
mask. And what was going to happen is a character was going to emerge from the device that had been sent to Earth and take the mask off, and was going to be Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver.
Young Alan Ripley,
from
though.
Aliens.
So, which means there's time travel, if they'd have put that
Yeah,
in this
which
universe.
feels like an absolute Hail Mary pass.
Absolutely it is.
Because what you do is you just go, okay, just say it's Ripley. we'll figure it out in the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's no plan going
you
forward.
mentioned as
and also,
well-
Newt was going to be it was going to be Ripley.
They
and
would have to
Newt.
go through a time.
Exactly. Before Ripley was killed in that spaceship crash
Well,
in
that
Alien
didn't
3.
happen anymore or something.
Oh, didn't it?
Oh,
Okay.
well, no, because they're changing it if they make that new one. Which,
I see,
which is
right.
not happening at the moment because that dude's making RoboCop Returns.
Yeah, right.
But I
okay.
think after this new Terminator movie comes out, and if it's good,
Yep.
with Sarah Connor back, then they'll do that Alien movie. They'll be like, let's get old Ripley back. Let's do a proper Alien 3, the one that people actually would like. What were they thinking with that though? Just be like, wouldn't this be cool? That's all that is.
Yeah, right,
With no thought.
Yeah.
You even mentioned on the show, make it Dutch.
That'd be
Make
great,
it Dutch.
yeah.
And you know what? You could have just done. You could have faked that the way that wasn't really Sigourney Weaver because you cover her face.
Yeah, right.
You do the same thing with Dutch.
Just get a guy to do the voice.
That's
just
it.
a bad
Not
Arnold
even. You
Schwarzenegger
can just
impression.
have a mask over him so you can't
right.
see his
Uh-huh.
face.
And just CGI the eyes.
Yeah, not even. Just
All
cover
right.
his face.
All right.
Cover his face.
Okay. Just see his pecs.
Just see his pecs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just it's an armored suit, but the pecs are
Yeah.
the pecs are exposed.
Pecs are exposed. Yeah, I get you.
You can do that because it's a man's pecs.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah. Before we do more news, Mason, also we've decided. I think so. Have we talked about this? Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Probably not.
Probably.
We do it. We got the USB tapes that we're selling with the best of the Weekly Planet.
That's
at
right.
what point.
Going like hot
Going like hot
cakes.
cakes. We were going to take them down. I spoke to Claire about it, and she's like, "You should just keep them up because people may have birthdays coming up or something that people want to buy them for or whatever." So, and it's not doesn't cost us anything to
Well,
leave them
based
up.
on my Facebook feed, there's a birthday every day.
Yes.
Or several a day.
Yes, there is. So yeah, we're going to leave them up for now, and we'll get some more down the line. Maybe
Cool.
some commentary ones with some exclusive commentaries and whatever, but I'll link that below.
Hmm.
Big trailer this week though. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, yeah, that's
He's
right.
in Europe. He's
Yep.
escaped to the confines of New York City. Forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's swinging around Venice or whatever,
Yep.
and other places.
A city renowned for its skyscrapers.
Yes.
Venice.
Ben did a great trailer breakdown because I was away. He did a really good job. Some would say better than me.
A what?
I'm saying that.
Wow.
But what
You've been hoisted on your own petard or
I don't
something.
mind, mate. It's fine. It's bloody
Cool.
2019.
Yeah.
Can a man be hoisted on his own petard, Mason?
I guess you can, yeah.
I thought so. What do you think of the trailer?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't answer a lot of questions.
It answers some questions.
answers some
related
questions,
to
doesn't it? Yeah.
Endgame,
Uh-huh.
sort of like who's alive.
It does.
and-
That's true. Yeah. So I believe Kevin Feige or somebody has said this is definitely taking place after Endgame.
Yes.
Is that right? So this is a world where they've had to deal with in some way the events of
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame. So presumably, spoiler alert, everybody who was in the trailer is still alive
Yes.
or has returned to life.
So
anybody who may have died is back.
Yeah.
Is back to. So anyway, so it's
Maria Hill's in it.
yeah. For anybody
Nick
who
Fury.
doesn't want to, for anybody who doesn't want any Endgame spoilers, you can't watch Spider-Man. You can't watch any of
Definitely
these
not.
Spider-Man trailers either. That's probably Maria Hill, right? We don't see her
I think
face.
we've seen. I think it's confirmed that she's in it anyway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, but if Nick Fury's back, we saw him dissolve and we
Yeah,
saw
that's
Spider-Man
true, yeah.
dissolve, so it's not a stretch
Yeah.
for her to be back also.
Uh-huh.
Like all his classmates appear to be there, none of them
That's
are
true, yeah.
gone, so
Mhm. Flash is back.
Flash is back. Mysterio's a good guy now, isn't he?
Sure is.
They've really covered their tracks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's a bad guy, right? He's the bad guy.
Oh, absolutely he's the bad guy.
He's making some.
Well, we recently
monsters.
did. Are we talking about this? We
coming up this week,
We
yeah.
we did a caravan of garbage on the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yes.
which
that
features
on
the origin
Tuesday?
of Mysterio,
Yeah.
which is basically the same as the 1960s version of the
Yeah.
origin of the character, where he shows up and he's like, "I'm gonna defeat." In the comic books, anyway, in the cartoon, he's like, Spider-Man's a villain, and I'm the real hero here,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Yay, Mysterio! You're a weird man with your head, your fishbowl head comes off,
Yeah.
hooray!"
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's revealed that he's back for just revenge on Spider-Man.
Yes.
Do you think that's what it's going to be in this movie?
Not necessarily. Apparently, he's working for Shield, so maybe he hates them.
Yep,
Maybe it's just a syndrome thing where he just hates
might be, yeah.
superheroes in general.
Uh-huh.
Weird costume choice to be like, I'm a superhero and this is what I'm gonna.
Yeah, I've got a weird
Dress
fishbowl.
as.
I mean, it could be remnants again, like because Homecoming, it was a lot of Chitauri tech.
Yeah.
that was used to build the Vulture and the Shocker and what have you. Maybe that's the equipment he had. Like maybe the
Yeah.
only thing that worked as a helmet was the big fishbowl head.
Oh, okay.
You
Do
know,
you
so
think
that's-
it's going to be a... And you mentioned to me you think you're not going to see his
I
face
think that
in
the reveal
part.
that Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio in this
Yeah.
is one of those Marvel trailer fake outs. I think when he arrives first, he's just going to have the fishbowl head.
Right.
I think they were like, we want people to see it's Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
You know,
I want to know it's Gyllenhaal.
I also wanted to know. If it's
now we
Gyllenhaal.
do know.
Now there's a lot of controversy.
Oh,
Americans
oh.
say controversy.
Do they?
And I
I say
also
controversy.
I also say controversy. But
That's very controversy of you, Mason.
Thank you. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Controversy.
Oh, thank you. Of who the supplemental villains are.
Yes.
Because we see a water man, we see a rock man, we see a fireman, and maybe like a wind or a lighting man of some sort.
Wind or lightning
Some
man.
people have said that they're the Marvel's elementals.
Yeah, I think they are.
Somebody has
But
said...
there's some changes to that.
Yeah, some people have said that it's Hydro Man, Molten Man, Sandman.
It's not Sandman, it's someone else.
Yeah, right,
Ben did it in the trailer.
Oh, did he?
Who
are they?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay. Is it possible they're just Mysterio's illusions?
Yes, absolutely. Or if not, like a thing that he's built. Because they do look like they're smashing up stuff, or at the very least throwing water.
I would say it's my best guess would be it's holograms plus control demolition plus water hoses plus. Like, I don't know how long he's had to build this stuff, but he's
days.
He's a whiz. He's got days. Yeah.
You can see also when he's using his powers, it looks like there's some like Doctor Strange-esque glyphs in his.
Yes.
I think that's just. He's like, oh, just make this shape of the hologram makes it look like I'm magic.
For sure. And
people are like, oh, he's Thor and he's Iron Man combined or whatever.
Yeah. I think it also could potentially he could have just seen cell phone footage of Doctor Strange fighting the bad guys in Infinity War and gone, that's a good look. I'll use that. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, you can get. They might even do it because if you've seen any cosplay footage from some conventions recently, a lot of people have gotten. These little, they're like spinning LED discs, and you can program. They're quite expensive, which is why I haven't bought any. And you can program them to output like different shapes. And so like there's a lot of Doctor Strange cosplayers who will just put the hands out and they make the glyphs in the air. It looks amazing. Yeah. I don't know if it works from every angle. Or if it just works from one angle, but they look cool. Yeah, so maybe he just did that.
Maybe he did just do that.
He just bought some LEDs.
He's got some money. Yeah. He's got more money than you. And he bought
exactly.
It.
That's right.
Himself. Yeah. I mean, the thing with Mysterio is
they're like $600 each.
That's really each one.
I think so.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, they look really good. Yeah.
The thing with Mysterio as well is he's often not there. It's it's all holograms.
Yeah,
Like watching the Spider-Man cartoon one that we did, and you look back on scenes and like I don't even think he was physically there at all for any of that.
Yeah, right.
It was just mostly holograms and I guess one basketball. That will make sense when the video comes out. But
at one point his head turns into a basketball.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But no, I think it's I'm happy with seeing Mysterio because we were supposed to see him in Raimi's Spider-Man 4.
We were.
Briefly, we've talked about this. Played by Bruce Campbell.
Do you think we're going to Bruce Campbell cameo somehow?
I don't think so.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice. It'd be nice to dream.
It would be nice, yeah. Well, I don't know whether it'll happen anytime soon, but I'd love to see a live-action Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I've talked about it before. But just link the crap universes to the good ones, etc. You know what I mean?
That could be the slogan. That could be the tagline on the poster. Link the crap universes with the good ones.
I like the Tobey Maguire universe, and some people like the Amazing
there's like a dimensional vortex line like diagonally across the poster, and there's very obviously like a crap universe and a good crap universes and good universes, and it's just like Maguire and Garfield looking sad on one side of the line.
Well, you mentioned that the Maguire
covered in dirt.
Yeah, the Maguire universe to you, and this is very true, especially the first one. A lot of it looks like a fake high school and a fake room.
It looks unfinished.
Yeah, like a set, like a TV set.
And I'm sure that's what they were aiming for at the time.
Yeah.
Or even maybe if they weren't aiming for it at the time, they thought, well, it's comic booky and it's cartoony.
Yeah.
We're looking at Spider-Man. We're looking because the costume looks great. We're looking at the heroes. We're looking at the villains. We're not really looking at the background kind of thing.
I was looking at the background.
Yeah, me too. That's why I saw how garbage they looked.
I like those films. I know you hate them. Mm-hmm. Is that all from the Spider-Man Far From Home time trailer?
I think so. We see the new suit in action.
Yeah, I like it.
It's got. He's
really
see
a couple.
He's really perfected that gliding. Tell you what.
What do you think those are like? Do you think they're like a power thing, like a hologrammy? Not a hologram, like a
magnetic levitation,
like a force fieldy thing. Or do you think they're real?
I think he's just gotten good at the gliding.
Cool.
Yeah. And we see the stealth suit of some sort.
Stealth suit as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's clearly like a shield suit.
We also see Aunt May Pax's. Oh, that's what we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, of course, Spider-Man's wearing the suit when Aunt May gets home.
Yeah.
So do you think she knows what's happening here? Do you think she's on the...
Well, she packs his Spider-Man suit in the international trailer.
Some have said maybe he's convinced her that he's just... Like it's just a cosplay kind of situation. Yeah. So she's on board. I think that's a good. I think that's a good twist. If she's a twist. Because, I mean, traditionally in the comic books, she learned a long time ago.
Yeah,
and she's mostly fine with it.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's true.
And just make her up, openly on board with it. I think that's cool.
I will.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna make that happen
That's
for
cool.
you.
That's cool.
Cool. Anyway, it looks good. I mean, ideally, you'd want this trailer after Infinity War comes out, but you can't really because Infinity War's April, and this is.
Do you mean Endgame?
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. Sorry, Captain Pedantic. Glad you're back from holiday.
No problem. I'm here to correct anything and everything, and I will. It's the episode for it. Here we go.
Certainly is. You want some Flash news?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to...
Wait, which version of Flash?
The movie one.
Oh, not really, but all right.
Well, it's Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts.
If it were TV Flash news, it'd be like, this season there's a new villain and he runs really fast. Can Barry run faster? Yep.
Who is it? It's probably a scientist he knows. That he thought was his friend.
I've been rewatching some of those. They're quite good.
It's good.
There is it's always the
and he's surprised how fast
villain.
The guy is.
It's just the guy who's faster than him. And in Arrow, it's just another guy with shoots arrows. In the last season of that I watched, the villain, I saw that the villain was Prometheus, and I'm like, oh, Prometheus, because he was a Justice League villain.
The DVD or the Blu-ray?
Blu-ray,
okay.
Obviously, at his peak.
High def.
But he's this DC villain from like the early 2000s that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
He's like the reverse Batman, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Inside Out.
You know what it is? It's just a guy shooting a lot of arrows. It's just a guy in a black mask shooting a lot of arrows. Great.
People get guns in that show?
Sometimes people have guns, yeah. But apparently arrows are better.
I disagree.
Yeah.
It has been proven. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so Warner Brothers has pushed back Fantastic Beasts 3 from July to a late autumn start. The thing is, The Flash was supposed to film just after that movie finished.
Oh no, does that mean they're going to have to CGI his bowl cut?
Yes, they may just.
Oh no.
They got rid of the bowl cut, Mason.
Yeah, he did. That's true.
The best part of that
he has a relatively normal hair, yeah.
Yeah. So Ezra Miller obviously can't do both if he's starring in both.
So he's going to do Fantastic Beasts.
Yes. Also, does Flash have a director at the moment? I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. We'd know who it was, surely.
Yeah.
You'd know who it was. I wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't, because I don't.
Yeah.
So
I would be astounded if he dropped Fantastic Beasts for the Flash. At this point.
No. I mean, Fantastic Beasts didn't do great.
Did I read an article today that said that the new president of DC or somebody in Warner Brothers was like, we're not focusing on the shared universe anymore. We're done with it.
Yeah, that apparently is the case.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's all, some of them are linked, I guess, but it's more about telling individual stories.
The good old days of telling individual stories like Green Lantern and other
Superman
garbage ones. Superman Returns. Remember that?
Catwoman.
Remember that? And there'd just be one reference. They'd be like, boy, this doesn't happen in Gotham City. And that's it.
It was good though, wasn't it?
That was bad.
Because it didn't happen in Gotham City.
Oh, I hated him so much.
I never saw Catwoman, but I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I only know that basketball scene, which every now and then I'll put into a video. Have you seen that, where she plays basketball against Benjamin Bratt?
Yeah, that's what crippled him.
for
Doctor Strange, yeah. It was
wow.
That. Yeah,
he got dunked on.
Yeah, he got dunked on so hard that he snapped in half.
Well, she had cat powers.
She had cat powers, exactly. Yeah, and then he's just been in that chair, and then he went to whatever magical city that Doctor Strange is from.
The good one, whatever.
Yeah.
New Gods news.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
Apparently, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda are going to be the leads, and the villain's going to be Granny Goodness and the Female Furies.
Cool.
That sounds great. I'm happy to skip all that New God shit. I don't need any of it. No, it's fine. But the recent, we've talked about this.
Are you saying that just because Steppenwolf was so bad as a villain?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
But also, I find these characters way more interesting just based off that new Mr. Miracle run, which is so great.
Yep.
And our friend Charlie Clausen is going to be playing him in the movie.
Mr. Miracle, yeah.
We've decided.
Yeah, we've decided.
So,
yeah. Man.
But no, I think this is the good way to do it.
I agree.
Because it's better than like people you don't know going, I'm the son of Darkseid and this is whatever, you know?
Show, don't tell.
Show, don't tell. So
does this have the director of A Wrinkle in Time?
Yes.
Or is that just... It does, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So... she can do colourful. That we
know. This better be crazy. Like, it better not be just like...
Well, Mr. Miracle's a blend, isn't it? It's kind of mundane, normal, everyday stuff.
The most recent run is...
But it's got to be that one, right?
I would kind of hope so. But I think the crazy stuff got to be crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it can't just be like what we saw in Justice League.
Justice League was good.
It just can't be... Don't give us like a... Here we are in Apocalypse and it's just... we're in open space and there's fire and there's 3 boxes. Don't give us that.
How's that?
Really think about it.
How's that Justice League boom tube effect?
So bad.
So boring.
Didn't even boom, really.
It's
the whole point. That's why they called that. Oh, God.
Also, because it's also established in Justice League that mother boxes are just... We talked about this in the commentary. They're like these 3 things and you put them together and they... I don't know what they
Open
do.
a gateway to
whatever,
apocalypse
right,
and destroy the world or whatever.
But in the regular comic universe, they're just like an iPhone.
Yeah.
They can also transport you places.
They're like an all-purpose getting through your life device.
They all have them. Like
everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, it's not a world change. It's just like a thing everybody has.
Yeah. So no, I like this, and I like the Granny Goodness idea because she raised both Mr. Miracle and Big Barda.
Yeah, right.
So absolutely. Let's have this one,
please.
Do you want some Ben Affleck Batman news? Schrodinger's bat.
Wow, he's back. Okay,
is
all right.
Is he in or is he out? Here we go. Apparently,
the last time we talked about this, which might have been on the commentary, the Ben Affleck Facebook page changed its cover photo to Batman again. I think.
Okay, right.
So last time, at the start of this year,
does he run that?
I doubt it. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah. At the start of this year, he was back in.
Yes.
According to his Facebook page, which he probably doesn't run.
Well, now he's out.
Okay.
Apparently, this Batman movie...
I'm going to check his Facebook page right now.
Please do.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this other thing. Apparently, the new Batman movie is Young Batman. It's going to come out 2021 or 2022.
Please let it be called The Young Batman.
Kid Batman. We've got that. It's Gotham.
Look at this. Ben Affleck, 1.5 million likes, real deal. Cover photo.
Yeah. And it's from BVS.
From BVS, yeah.
Wow, what a movie.
Yeah.
This is apparently going to be the first in a series of movies, and it's going to have multiple villains, one of which is going to be the Penguin.
I think you mean Young the Penguin.
Young the Penguin. They've already got that in Gotham. They've got the Young the Penguin.
Even Younger Penguin.
Well, Josh Gad's been teasing it on his Instagram.
He has, hasn't he?
Whatever, so it's probably Josh Gad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Gads, Mason. It's Josh Gad. Thank you. He's clapping. You can't hear it. I've edited it out. but it was too raucous.
It was a bit raucous, wasn't it? Yeah. But you're right, though.
I think Josh Gad's good. He's like theatrical, and I think he could definitely.
You might say he's Josh Good. We've upset the dog.
Yes, that. Just to be clear, that I left that clap in because it wasn't quite as raucous.
Good as the other. Yeah. We could still hear ourselves bloody think.
Yeah.
The link to the first link on Ben Affleck's Facebook page is easterncongo.org. It's probably a charity. I'm going to click it.
Yep.
It's loading.
Can't wait.
Neither can I.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
I wonder what's happening in the Eastern Congo.
Oh no, it's chimp poaching. Oh, Ben
He's
Affleck.
all for it. He's loving it. Oh, there's a video of him machine gunning chimps from a helicopter. It's something about Congolese coffee.
What?
Making a difference in Eastern
I was
Congo.
going to say, it must be like a local.
Yeah, he's not just shilling a brand called Eastern Congo coffee. That'd be great.
When I'm exploiting the third world countries.
Yeah.
All
right.
Great.
Assessing the growth potential of Eastern Congo's coffee and cocoa sectors.
Yeah. Good on him.
Good for him.
That's great. What else we got here? Did you watch the trailer for John Wick 3?
Parabellum. I didn't see it.
Perineum.
How's it look?
It's all John Wick stuff. Kills the guy with the book. Rides a horse and shoots the guy in the head.
Wait. But bearing in mind, I haven't seen it.
Yep.
How does he kill a guy with a book? Does he slam it closed on his face? Is it some nerd who's leaning too far into a book? And John Wick goes, snap! Does he close it on his hand Pretty Woman style?
Yes. No, he does that thing where he goes, if your hand's bigger than your face, you got cancer.
Oh, and then they go, what?
Slap. Then he shoots him in the head.
Nice.
So yeah, no, he just puts it in his mouth and like punches him or something. I can't remember. I only watched it once. I don't need to watch it again because it's John Wick. I know I'm going to see it.
Yeah, right.
And I know what to expect in these movies. He's on the run from the bloody... from everybody.
What happened at the end of the last one?
Because he went in and he shot someone where he wasn't supposed to shoot them.
in the hotel.
And
what do you mean in the perineum?
Yeah, in the perineum.
Wow. Yeah, done. It's dirty pool.
That's why it's called John Wick 3 perineum. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's so he's on the run from there's a hit out on him.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, well, I have to kill everybody in the world now.
Okay,
so,
right.
But he's got
anybody could be working for that hotel chain.
That's
so
right. But Halle Berry is on his side, presumably because she's not part of the organization anymore. Because if you're part of it, you can't help him, so he can't go to a hotel or get his dog sat. None of these things he can do.
Yeah.
So he's just out and about. And apparently the recent one, Replicas, is like the worst movie ever made, where he clones his family or whatever.
I've not seen that. Nor was I aware that it existed.
It's got Alice Eve, and his family dies in a car crash, so he uses cloning to bring them back. But what?
But at what cost?
What cost, exactly?
Why are we still talking about cloning?
Because it's fun, isn't it?
No, but I mean, like, that's weirdly out of the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like,
it looks like one of those movies that was filmed in 2014, and they've only got around.
They've just unearthed it. Yeah,
I don't know whether that's
Destination Wedding, which is another Keanu Reeves movie that came out quite recently.
What?
It's called Destination Wedding. It's like a rom-com with his in it.
Okay,
I'm gonna look it up for you.
Please do.
Yeah.
Oh, while you're doing that,
yes, please.
Let's move on to some Deadpool 3 news.
Oh, okay.
Apparently,
did Once Upon a Deadpool come out?
Yes.
I don't think did it get a cinema release in Australia?
I think it did. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I missed it. Sorry, Deadpool. I said I was going to see it.
I was never going to see it, and I didn't. But I think it's out on Blu-ray or whatever. Yeah, it did come out here.
Destination Wedding came out in the year of our Lord 2018. It's Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
Wow. Together again?
The story of two miserable and unpleasant wedding guests who develop a mutual affection despite themselves.
That was filmed around the time of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, this is offcuts. Yeah, they've just recut it.
Do you like that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's all in camera, all the effects.
Great. Good.
I thought so.
Good.
Yeah, I remember it freaking me out as a kid, but I think I watched it later. I'm like, nah.
User reviews for Destination Wedding, 10 out of 10. I thought it was pretty great. This is from user The Garlic Connection.
The Garlic
All
Connection.
One word.
Okay.
It's probably a lot of garlic in the movie.
No doubt.
And then
is that the only review?
There's 11,604 reviews. Let's go through them.
What's the star rating though? I mean, that's what I.
IMDb rating is 6 out of 10, based on 11,000 reviews.
I'm going to check Rotten Tomatoes just quickly.
Okay, cool.
40%. So that's not the worst movie ever made.
Sure, right.
Yeah, great. Deadpool 3.
I'm ready.
If it happens at Disney, which it probably will, or unless they decide not to make Deadpool movies, which is also possible, but probably not. They're gonna do X-Force first, and then Deadpool 3.
Okay.
The creator behind it was like, yeah, we need to do kind of like the way that we had Iron Man 1 and 2, Avengers, Iron Man 3. That's kind of the model.
Yeah,
that
right.
they're
Okay,
going
yeah.
off. So that makes sense to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you want to see X-Force?
Yeah, I'll see X-Force.
Go on, give it to you.
You go
on, give it to you.
Would
you want to see X-Force with the two triple X's turning up? Yes. Or 3 or 4? Is there more than...
There's so many triple X's. Well, there's technically only triple X Vin Diesel and triple X Ice Cube.
But who are the other people they have?
Well, the rest of them are on triple X.
And there's the guy who can kick a soccer ball well. Is he a triple X?
He's on triple X also, yeah, because he lived.
You thought
he was going to die at the end of triple X 3, but at the start of triple X 3, but at the end of triple X 3, he's still alive.
Thank God.
So,
did you see the first photo of Bloodshot? Where it's just Vin Diesel in an army outfit. And people are like, that doesn't look like Bloodshot.
Is he the chalk white?
No,
the red spot? He's just a regular man. Great. So it could have been any photo of Vin Diesel
like
ever.
He just stepped out of his house.
Wow, great.
And they got him in cargo.
Well,
pants.
Surely at some point Bloodshot has to step out of his house.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
True to life.
True to life. So more Fox movie news. Apparently, Dark Phoenix, the reshoots have meant.
Oh, do you think Deadpool's going to get a new uniform for X-Force?
Yes.
Black uniform.
Black uniform. Yeah.
Nice.
X gone, give it to you.
He gonna give it to you. He's gonna give it to you.
Dark Phoenix. Apparently, the reshoots of that movie meant that the budget has ballooned up to $200 million.
I thought you were going to say $2 million. And I would have been like, yeah, fair enough.
They really pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
Well, if that's true, which it very well may not be, you probably shouldn't have done that.
Just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just release it as is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie's now not going to turn a profit.
It's absolutely not. That's madness.
Yeah. But then again, maybe it's the last one and they frame it as the last one, unless the Haunted School is the last one.
Apparently that's back. That's back on the slate.
Oh, is it?
Based on something that I read on the internet, probably.
Yeah. I mean, they may as well release it.
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do?
They're handing it all over anyway.
You know what they should do?
Yeah.
Reshoot everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then release that one too.
Do you remember that?
Spend $500,000 on 2 terrible X-Men movies.
Because remember they released an animatic for it way back before they started filming, and it's a giant bear, and it looked really good.
That's right.
Apparently
yeah.
that's not in it. They decided not to do the giant. That's all I want to see. I just want to see the giant
bear.
Wow. I don't want to see a kid on fire trapped in a toilet or whatever they show in the trailer.
Well, I didn't until you said that, but now I do.
Oh, I got more of these news. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, do you want Gambit news?
Yes.
It's been scrapped.
2019, you've done it again. Incredible. After is this 10 years of Gambit news?
Well, yeah, so off Wolverine Origins, yeah, it's 10 years this year.
Yeah, wow.
Because that's he was
Wow. And 10 years.
What a ride.
First anniversary is paper, 10th year is cancellation, obviously. Amazing.
I mean, was this ever going to happen? I mean, it
don't
got
know.
pretty close at one point. I'm fairly confident.
Did they finally, the producers involved, like, opened up a Gambit comic and went, no, this is too 90s to make, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Look at that weird mask he has on. It doesn't cover any of his face. It just covers his forehead. I'm not making a movie with a forehead mask. Yes. Look at these weird little gloves. I hate this. You're all fired.
So that's done.
Well, that leaves Channing Tatum free to do every other movie he's going to do this year. So.
That also was scrapped along with Kitty Pryde, Silver Surfer, Multiple Man. That was the James Franco one, which at the time when it was announced, I was like, oh yeah, Multiple Man.
Man, I would have seen a Silver Surfer or a Multiple Man.
I think we will see a Silver Surfer over at Marvel.
Yeah.
And probably some of these other ones. You don't have to make Gambit though. He's nobody's favourite character realistically. It's only the people who like the 90s cartoon.
And they're all dead.
They're all dead now, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, what else we got here? Well, this is interesting.
I'm ready.
Ghostbusters. No, before I do that, for some reason I put in Monopoly starring Kevin Hart.
I'm ready.
Care about that when I put that in.
Another attempt at the board game based movie. Incredible.
Did I do this in my sleep? Why would I put that in? It's a weird thing to put in. Okay, so apparently Monopoly...
You know what I'm hoping for this year? It's increasing amounts of Kevin Hart news. Like you open up your laptop every week and you're like, why have I got 4 pieces of Kevin Hart news this week? And it's just a part of your psyche late at night. It's just building Kevin Hart
Or he's living in my ceiling.
Yes.
Have you seen that footage? It's like a woman, I think it was in Japan.
I've never seen any footage of Kevin Hart.
Okay, never mind. So, no, there was... And she suspected she had rats because the food...
And it was Kevin Hart.
It was Kevin Hart the whole time.
Wow.
No, and there was this dude living in her ceiling and she'd go out and he'd climb out through the cupboard and like eat her food and like live in her house. And then
For how long?
Like a long time.
Be slightly more specific.
For a year and a half. Wow. I don't know how long.
Okay.
Yeah, months, let's say.
Well, more than like a day is madness,
far too
right?
long, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't hurt her or anything. He just was eating her food and using her toilet.
Well, he hurt her bloody back pocket there, didn't he? The bloody skyrocket, didn't he?
Yeah.
The wallet, eh?
Anyway, Kevin Hart is doing a movie where he lives in the roof and he eats your food. Monopoly. What do you think it's going to be? Do you think he's the banker?
Ooh.
Do you think it's going to be?
No, I think he is a.
Man?
I think he's a struggling. No, I think he's a struggling battler. I think he's a struggling battler trying to get along, and rich Uncle Pennybags is after him. Yeah, he's the Iron.
So it's like a Brewster's Millions?
Maybe, yeah, I think
so. What's that one with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy?
Trading Places. Yeah, maybe.
Like a man on Wall Street.
Maybe he inherits some money.
Okay.
And then he has to get a monopoly somehow.
Do you think maybe he starts in the smaller...
Maybe he starts in jail.
He could start in jail.
Yeah,
is that how Monopoly starts normally, though?
No, it never starts in jail. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the guy who directed this is Tim Story. He did Ride Along.
Okay, great.
He did Fantastic Four 1 and 2.
Incredible.
But they're not the worst Fantastic Four.
Did he do any good movies?
I think so. I think he did Barbershop.
Okay, all right.
Which I remember being fine.
Okay, then.
I haven't seen it in a long time. So great. There's Kevin Hart news. Ghostbusters 3 is happening, the real one, apparently. And people are pretty happy until they found out the premise, and they're not as happy.
What's the premise now?
Okay, so basically, for those who don't know, but everybody knows this.
Because what's his name? Jason Reitman?
Yes.
He released a secret teaser.
Yes.
That he'd been working on.
In secret.
But I mean, it's just a barn with the
he was staying in the roof of the studio at Sony.
Was he?
And he'd climb down during the night and shoot this teaser.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, but what do we see?
He had to drag the Ecto-1 up into the ceiling every night.
So yeah, we see a stroller.
We see a stroller. We see a camera sort of pan into a barn.
Yeah,
and then and we hear some of that Ghostbusters score from the original movies.
The Ghostbusters rap.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters rap.
Good.
And then we see something with a tarp over the top, and we hear the proton pack firing up.
Yep.
And then we see the tarp comes off, and it's the Ecto-1, the vehicle from the first Ghostbusters movie.
Yes.
And then we hear some Ghostbusters music.
Apparently it's so the 2016 one is set in a different universe.
They are leaning very heavily in this. The
they?
original Ghostbusters are definitely back.
Yep.
But they're not though. It's just set in the same universe.
No, there's some of them. Apparently Ernie Hudson was saying all the ones who aren't dead are back.
Right.
And Bill Murray, the story, apparently the premise is Bill Murray is the grandfather of one of them, and they're going to be a group of 4 teens, 2 boys and 2 girls. The lead is 12, and I think it's like a small town, so it's not
okay.
New York. It just sounds like they're doing Stranger Things, to be honest.
It does, yeah. Well, see, I'd seen the teaser, but I was not aware of the...
I think this is just like bits and pieces that I put together. Some of this stuff might not be true.
I feel like the same people who are upset about the Ghostbusters reboot are going to be upset that this is now a movie with kids in it.
Yes.
Because they were like... Because they
don't want Bill Murray running around.
Exactly. They don't want it to be. They don't want it to be any different from the previous ones, and they don't want it to be characters they cannot imagine themselves being.
Yeah.
So why they're not going to like this either?
I think they're just thinking Stranger Things.
Yeah,
I think that's what, and they also want to capture that new generation. And if they do balance that with the older members of the team, you could please both people or nobody.
It's true. Yeah.
Leslie Jones was not happy on Twitter. She was flipping out.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But I think you can have both. You can have the one in the other universe and this one. Yeah. I mean, that was never going to get a sequel. And also, it wasn't that good. It was fine. I didn't think it was horrible.
I maintain it's pretty good until the third act.
Yes. Yeah.
And
there's some good jokes in it.
And I think later we're going to talk about a movie that's pretty good until the third act.
Yes. Shrek.
Shrek the Third.
Yeah, Shrek the Third. So, but look, your favourite movie of all time, one of them is Sunshine, but another
That's
one
not true.
is Ghostbusters.
It's the first Ghostbusters, yeah.
Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I don't care. I don't want it.
Yeah. Do you think if we didn't get the 2016 one and there hadn't been 30 years of like, we're going to make it, are we going to make it? Hang on, I'm just going to pause for 4 years to sell vodka. Are we going to make it? We're probably going to make it. Hang on, what about the movie Evolution with David Duchovny? It's a loose kind of, it's spiritual sequel, etc.
Yeah, right,
So you don't, is that what's...
I don't see how I don't know how they're going to recapture. I feel like the first one is kind of lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Because none of the other ones have lived up to that one, obviously.
No, 2 wasn't that great. Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
Well, 2 was the one I saw first. I've talked about this before, so I liked 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've kind of already had 3 in the video game, which was written by a lot of the originals and had all the voice cast and expanded on the lore and the mythos and all that sort of stuff and revisited, and you fought the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And we learned all about Ivo Shandor and all that sort of stuff. So
you know what I would like to see in this new one? I'd like to see practical ghosts that they film on a black screen and then kind of awkwardly shove them into...
Yeah, right.
Because I really like those original ghost effects, and you look at the newer one and it's just neon and CGI.
See, yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be... It's going to be tough to recapture it, I think also because... New York is, and again, because it's set in a different location. Like I feel like the first one works just because New York, especially at the time, was so dirty and run down, and it looked, to me, it looked like all this fantastical stuff was happening in a city where nobody really cares about.
Yeah, like
that stuff,
like
happening.
That Highlander kind of horrible.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I think the contrast was great, and I think if you set it in a little farming town or something like that.
It'd be really good.
No, and they're just going to put it on sets, and they're going to put it on...
I don't know if they will.
Okay, then.
I think they've learned lessons of what people scream at them about.
That's true, yeah.
I think what really is going to get this over the line for a lot of people in terms of good
Whether
faith...
Slimer is in it.
How
many hot dogs is Slimer going to eat?
They're going to come out his butt.
They're going to come out his butt, yeah.
Is that it's in the original universe.
Yes,
I think that's going to be enough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, not for me. I'll never be happy.
Yep, me neither.
I am happy. I just watched the first one. It's fine.
And?
It's good. It's a good movie.
Cool. It's weird when Dan Aykroyd has sex with a ghost, right?
Yeah.
Can I put that back in? I reckon they should. Okay. What else have we got here, Mason? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
that's getting a third
getting
one.
Another go.
Yep.
Same people who did the last 2. They're not great.
I watched them out of order. I quite like the second one because it's just like a live-action version of the cartoon.
And Casey Jones is like, I'm going to be a detective.
Well, why can't I be a detective? Now I'm on skates.
His hair's not even long.
That's
what
true.
are you doing?
Yeah. Bring back Elias Koteas.
I agree.
And then I watched the first one, which isn't great.
The original...
No, the first first Michael Bay one.
That one's less cartoony than...
Yeah.
I don't think they're either great.
I don't
So they're indestructible. They're bulletproof.
Yeah.
And they're tank-proof.
Look, I don't think that I wouldn't call them movies that I would just be like, I'm going to sit down and watch these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies again. But I like the fact that with the second one, they went all out and went, just put in a Technodrome and Krang and
whatever.
Bebop and Rocksteady and whatever. So maybe I will probably watch the third one.
Shredder, right?
But I won't watch the first one again.
Would you watch the original one again?
Hold me to that. Yeah, probably would. Yeah.
It's fun. And good. And dark. The weird New York.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Those
kids get to smoke in the arcade.
Oh man, one of them, Sam Rockwell. What's he doing there?
Yeah, right.
He got it together, didn't he?
Yes.
I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, that is the best place in the world. Just skateboarding and
skateboarding
Gallagher.
and playing Narc on the arcades.
Yeah, smoking Marlboros, mate. That's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know whether they're going to do this, but they're going to do that and the original comic. Because the original comic is pretty much that first movie.
It really is, yeah.
They're so close.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really like that first volume or whatever of Ninja Turtles is really good.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it started as a Daredevil parody. We've talked about it.
Yeah, right.
But it's quite grim, and they do. I think they kill Shredder with a hand grenade or something at the end.
Shredder in the first one, Shredder they defeat him, they team up and they really gut him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to kill you all with this thermite grenade, and then they kick him off a roof and he blows up.
Great.
And I don't think he ever comes back.
Not in that particular incarnation. So yeah, just do that one.
But yeah, a lot of that.
Also, they're ninjas. They're not monsters.
Yeah, in retrospect, that is such a. The first one is such a accurate retelling of the first. There's even they go to that farmhouse and one of them is brutally beaten up. And all that
it's
sort of
crazy.
Stuff. Yeah,
some dark stuff, and people were fainting making that movie because they're all trapped in the Ninja Turtle suits,
right.
and they got to do flips and shit.
Yeah,
the movie's nuts. It's really good though. And then at the end, I remember as a kid, they throw Shredder into a
garbage
truck and crush him to death. I mean, they bring him back for the next one. But at the time, I'm like, holy shit. I was 5 when I saw that movie.
Had you seen the cartoon before that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then
in which nothing like that happens
nothing
at all.
Nothing like that happens at all. So, but I think it's great. I think it's better than Batman '89. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think maybe Batman '89 gave it. And also, it's so weird because I think it's independent, and that's why they just went, let's just make this fucking weird movie. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really good. Anyway, more news, Mason. We got to do it. Because there's 2 more bits of news. One of them is Star Wars related. Welcome to 2019,
I thought 29 was going to be a year free of Star Wars news.
You're an idiot. There's both a video game and a TV series and a movie. Both of those things.
Didn't they cancel one of them?
They cancelled the open world game was supposed to be due out next year.
Okay.
They cancelled Amy Hennig's game, who did Uncharted, and they're going to make it into open world, but then they cancelled that.
Okay.
So, but if they had just kept the Amy Hennig
now they're going to make it an even bigger open world game.
That's right.
And then cancel
and more empty. But so if they had just kept that one, they would have met that release date, I'd imagine, because it was basically Uncharted Star Wars.
Yeah.
And now it was open world. Then they went, maybe people don't like open world or won't get done. So now they're doing a smaller game that they're releasing the end of next year, but we don't know what that is. Okay. We haven't even seen footage for this new one. Just make Star Wars games.
Just make
please.
something.
Just some. They've only released 2 Battlefronts, which arguably are both not good for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is EA, right?
This is EA. They did a Lego Star Wars game for Force Awakens, which was good. They didn't do one for The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Maybe the first one didn't sell well. And I saw a graph of all the games they released, because they've had it since 2013, over a 6-year period in 2003 to 2009. And it's insane. And there's so many good games in there. There's a couple of Jedi Knight games. There's the Force Unleashed games. There's Old Republic. There's just so much. There's Republic Commando. Yeah. And we've got this just utter shit. Just really terrible, sporadic games.
What do you tell us how you really feel, James? Are they contracted? So when Lucasfilm went to EA and said, "Can you make some Star Wars games?" Did they say you have to make 5 or you're out?
I
or something?
have no idea what the deal was.
Because it seems like they went, "Just do whatever you want."
It must
have
been because
make 2 terrible ones that everyone hates.
There should be at least 1 a year from the different subsidiaries. The EA have swallowed up so many major publishers.
Yeah, right.
They could have easily had 1 a year. And look, the story part of Battlefront 2 is fine, but obviously the microtransactions killed that game for a lot of people, and Disney made them take them out, which then broke the balance of the game. Apparently they've fixed a lot of it. It's quite good now.
Right.
And they keep releasing free content.
But some would say, make a good game
and
at release date, you know? Make sure it's good at the release date.
I need this one this year to be something.
You need it.
I need it.
Wow.
I can't
He's got that crazy look in his eye.
I can't remember the last time I played a good Star Wars game.
Star Wars NES.
No, I don't like that one.
It's bad.
The last ones I'd probably really love were the Jedi Knight ones, because they're my kind of game. I didn't love the Force Unleashed. But,
right.
But if this Fallen Order one, the one that's coming out this year, it's a few years after Revenge of the Sith and Hunting Jedi or whatever. I just want a lightsaber that can cut through a person.
Yeah.
I don't want a glowing stick.
No.
And it's the guys who made Titanfall 2, which is one of my favourite games of all time. So I'm hoping it's going to be good.
So were they part of EA?
Yes, they got swallowed up.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
also, EA often swallows studios and then
cancels everything.
Cancel them.
What's the point then? What are they doing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the less competition if they eat them all.
And then they just release anything. People go, and then people go, well, if there's nothing else coming out, I have to. So
all this loot box stuff and in-game gambling, it's already coming out in studio country. We're not a video game show. I just want to talk about Star Wars games, but that it's coming out in countries that people are saying it's gambling. You can't put them in.
Yeah, right.
It's happening the world over. These things they make billions of dollars a year just from like loot boxes, these gambling things. So that makes more money than making Spider-Man PS4.
I read an article about this. Apparently, this week Apple revealed that apparently, like a lot of transactions are just kids like buying stuff in game, and they just don't give the money back.
Of course,
they're just like, no, we got it. You should have been more careful with your kids.
Yeah. So look, man.
So when
everything else is gambling, why is this not gambling? I'm saying it's crazy.
Yeah. So when EA bought the Titanfall studio.
Yeah.
What have they released since then? Did they release Titanfall 2?
I don't know whether they did it under them. I think they might have.
Okay,
I don't know that.
Okay. What have they released since is the question.
Nothing. They're doing this.
Great.
And apparently Titanfall 3 is in the works.
So probably never. They're going to release
Maybe they bought them after. I think they might have even bought them after Titanfall.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. Wow.
Anyway, Titanfall 2 is great. Everyone should get it. Also, it's 6 hours. Doesn't go forever. It's not a sprawling open world where you have to talk to every fucking second person. I used to run or whatever. And let me tell you, there's someone up there here. I need you to collect a thing. Need a bucket for my well or whatever. God! Why can't games just be a game and you do the game and then you stop playing the game, Mason?
What about people who want to go retrieve a bucket for a well? Don't it be exclusionary to people who want to get a bucket for a well?
If you want to get a bucket from a well, you can do that in your own time.
People love infrastructure. They love helping men in taverns put together infrastructure. Do not exclude them.
You're
in
right.
a better universe, we'd all be getting buckets for wells.
There's too many open world games.
Star Wars, the last bucket for a well, it would be called.
Do you know EA a few years back was saying that that single player people don't want single player campaigns. They want sprawling multiplayer things that go forever.
Ugh.
Some people don't want that.
Yeah, right.
I know
exactly.
I don't want that, and I know I'm not alone. Anyway, Christopher McQuarrie is filming back-to-back Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, right.
Good, I think.
I think that's good. Some people on the internet have said, nah, because they've been alternating directors. You know, there've been different directors the whole series, and it gives you a little different flavour. But I say, nah. Well, once you find a good one.
I thought that until this last one.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, if they went, if they did change, that's fine too. Yeah, two back-to-back, that's difficult though. Like, it often does
filming
not
back-to-back,
work.
that's true.
Sometimes
come on, what about The Matrix? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
The Hobbit?
Yeah. I recently watched Lindsay Ellis's videos on
they're good,
the making of The Hobbit and how it ruined the New Zealand film industry.
And they're not good.
They're not good. Well, I have, when I was in either primary school or at the start of high school, I read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch the first, as an adult, obviously, I didn't watch the first two Hobbit movies. I just watched the third one with you, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember going, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything that happens in this movie happening in the book of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And it's because they just invented like a super handsome dwarf and a love triangle and just all sorts of weird stuff in there.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's not though, is it?
I agree. They're all not good.
But everybody should watch that video series.
Definitely, yeah. Anyway, apparently there's rumours that Alec Baldwin and Henry Cavill will be back.
In flashback form, I guess.
Or regular. I mean, anyone can be in a mask.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Baldwin, you can be like, yeah, he pulled through. But Henry Cavill took a hook to the head and then fell into an explosion.
What is interesting about Cavill's demise in that movie? Spoiler alert for Mission Impossible Fallout. Didn't he get super scarred up just before he died? So I think at the time I'm like, he's gonna come back as a recurring villain as a scar-faced man, as hook to the face man. Yeah, but just dead.
Hook to the head. Well, so I guess if it's going forward and not a flashback, it'll be a guy wearing his mask, or that wasn't him on the mountain.
Yes, if somebody was wearing a Henry Cavill mask.
Yes, that's right.
But why?
Why? What is anybody...
that's true, yeah.
Do you really care?
No. I mean, look, if you can see that scene and find a moment or a cutaway at some point where you could find a switcheroo, I'd be all for that.
He's in a helicopter. You could have swapped with a pilot or whatever if there was a pilot in there.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it again.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
But if the final action sequence is him like being like, "Oh, I'll kill you for what you did, Ethan Hunt," and all these very specific reasons that only I recall,
I remember.
then he's definitely dead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. All right, Mason. We were actually going to... This episode, I was going to say video. I mean, it might be video if you listen to it on YouTube. People do.
That's right.
Why.
Video is very generous there, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
That it's 2019, the year of our Lord.
When's it going to end? Carry on.
That we're going to do most anticipated movies of the year.
That's right.
We'll push that back to next week because Glass came out this week.
The most anticipated movie of the year for me.
Well,
Just kidding.
For a lot of people, it was.
Right, yeah.
It had a 40. I reckon it's going to have about a 47 million opening weekend in the US, which is really good. M. Night put up $20 million of his own money to make this movie, so he's going to have a pretty bumper return on that, I would say, which is good for him, man. Like, that is really impressive. It's not as impressive as you telling us what the story was.
Oh, no, you bloody got me. I was going to say, because, over the course of... We kind of do a bit.
Yes.
At this point, I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about the movie. You're going to be like, what the story was. And I'm going to be like, I bloody got
Are you
this.
saying retiring it for 2019?
No, I'm saying continue to do it, but I'm just saying you're going to have to find more creative ways like you just did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyway, Unbreakable... 20 years ago.
Yep.
Jeez. Bruce Willis, David Dunn is like, he meets Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson, who's like, I think you're unbreakable. And David Dunn's like, no, I'm not. And Mr. Glass is like, okay, when was the last time you broke? And he's like, oh, never now that I think about it.
I was in a pool, actually. One time
I
broke
that's
in a
right.
pool.
Yeah, but now I'm mostly unbreakable. And then it's like, oh yeah, it turns out you are unbreakable. Cut 2! Split.
Yes.
The previous movie.
Just last year or whatever.
Last year or whenever it came out. So there's a guy and his name's Kevin.
Yep.
And he works at the zoo.
Yep.
And he's got a lot of personalities.
He's got a lot of personality. He's got a real zip about him.
He's got some pizzazz, you know? But one of the members of his pizzazz is the Beast.
Yeah.
An alternate personality that's got super strength or something.
Can
Does
climb
he?
on a wall.
Probably does. He climbs a wall.
Yep.
Now this one.
Bulletproof. Or is he?
Who knows? And this one. David Dunn is like, I'm gonna track that guy down. I'm gonna track down the Beast.
He's got too much personality.
Too much personality. I don't care for it. I'm gonna get that guy, and then then things happen, and they both end up in all three of them.
Yep.
Those two and Mr. Glass end up in a mental institution.
That's right.
Yeah.
For people who are comic book powered or think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great.
It's a bad movie, I thought. You said good for M. Night Shyamalan for spending $20 million of his own money.
Definitely.
I would say a huge gamble, considering how like that's a big step. That's a big statement in the belief of himself. But that is amazing, given that the overall output of his work over the years.
But this is also
a bad movie. It is.
No, the first 2/3, if it was going somewhere not ridiculous, I think it could have worked.
This movie
and some of the performances are.
This movie has a really excellent premise. I think, especially since we are existing in a world where every second movie is a superhero movie.
Spoiler free, and then we'll do spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. But for me, there's not going to be a lot of spoiler free stuff.
Okay.
This is mostly me going to be ripping into the third act. So anyway,
we can just talk about the dog run in the spoiler free, and then we'll get
cool.
The other things.
For me, the premise of this was really great, and I was excited to do it because I'm like, okay, well, he's going to take some existing characters that he already had, and he's going to go, okay, well, we're in this world, we're currently all obsessed with superhero movies. Surely there are people out there who've seen too many superhero movies and something's gone wrong in their brain. They think they're superheroes.
Yep.
Let's explore that. Let's go, okay, well, maybe the entire premise of the last two movies was false. Maybe it is. Maybe they are just crazy people. Let's break them down emotionally. Let's see where they go.
Yeah.
And I thought, as far as tension building goes, I thought it was great. And we get Sarah Paulson as this, as the psychiatrist who is attempting to cut through their psyche and figure out what makes them tick. Are they on the level? Are they not on the level? And then the third act just undermines everything that came before it and just ruins the whole movie spectacularly.
And everybody's explaining to each other what the premise of comic book finales are.
Oh my god, there's such this movie has some just unbelievable. I don't understand if M. Night Shyamalan is a fan of comic books, but he's bad at articulating that in dialogue, or if he has no idea about comic books.
I think it's that.
And he's just like. He just went to Comics 101 or he read Understanding Comics and he just went, okay, let's cut and paste this into a script.
I don't think his understanding has evolved past Unbreakable, because we've talked about this and you in particular think that the premise and the way that he explores comic books in that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But that was 20 years ago. And so there wasn't the kind of comic book movies we've had since.
Yeah.
And this movie kind of posits the question, what if comic book characters could exist in the real world and what would that be? But every fucking superhero movie is that.
It is that.
Like Man of Steel is, it's a regular world and there's Superman. Even the Marvel universe is fantastical. But for most people before Iron Man, everything was just kind of going along.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a dude falls out of the sky.
And there's we've had 10 years of Marvel delivering to us movies with a nod and a wink of like, yeah, we're all having a bit of fun here, but can you imagine what this would be like? And kind of like deconstructing and
like Kick-Ass is the same thing.
Yeah, and people have conversations like people in the Marvel movies have conversations about how dumb the whole concept is, and isn't this crazy the world we live in kind of thing.
But this kind of does it with like an intellectual twist. But when they're all like, normally in the third act of a comic book, this is where the villain says, "Shut the fuck up! Stop saying that."
There's a scene in this movie where a character goes to a comic book store and says, "What was the first superhero?" to the guy behind the counter. And he goes, well, that's the tales of daring do and amazing adventure.
I don't remember that at all.
Just Google it. Why didn't you just Google it? You wouldn't have to go into the comic book store.
Because it's the year 2000.
Yeah,
it feels like it's the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. What I did like is James McAvoy is incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, Ben messaged me. Ben, who
I know Ben.
does some editing, and he's like he cried like his final performance and like not final performance, his performance I should say. I mean,
what do you know about James McAvoy that we don't know? Did he burst a vein in his neck when he does the thing where he goes?
And because it's he's a monster, as he has to do that part of it, and then the multiple personalities, and then also you empathize with him.
Well, I didn't see Split until after this.
Yeah,
I'd seen Unbreakable 20 years ago, and then this movie. I mostly picked up the pieces. I mean, again, I think this movie should stand up on its own. It shouldn't be a sequel.
I agree.
But I went into this having not seen Split, going, I don't know if I'm gonna like McAvoy, and the idea of multiple personalities, and one's a lady and one's a little kid, and blah blah blah. But I think mostly I was we were eased into it fairly subtly, and I think he does it.
And he does the dog run.
He does the dog run. Yeah,
I love the dog run.
Yeah,
I mean he has more to do than Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
he's not the worst he's been lately.
No, he's not phoning it in as hard as he has been in some films recently.
But they kind of don't use him that much.
No, that's true.
And the action sequences for this, for the most part, between him and the Beast and various other characters, it's mostly people just shoving each other into things.
Yeah.
Like, they're not that very interesting.
No, most of this movie is... Of the three main characters, it's mostly a Glass and the Beast movie, or the Horde movie, and we get some supporting characters.
Yeah, I really like that we got Bruce Willis's son back. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, right.
So at the start of the movie, they're kind of working together as this superhero team. He's like the Oracle to Bruce Willis's Batman,
yeah, right.
and
he's on the other end of the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. Yeah, and Anya Taylor-Joy's back. Who I think's really good in these movies as well. Sam Jackson's great. I mean, he usually is. So it's all. Sarah Paulson, you mentioned that all works, but it really is that third act, and then people being like just explaining comic books in the most pandering but simplistic way to each other.
But it's not even that. I mean, there's that. It's this clunky explanation, and we'll get to it in spoilers. But the third act makes and I say first, second, third act like I know what I'm talking about, but the last bit of the movie makes the first 2/3 completely irrelevant and pointless.
Yes.
There's no reason for any of what happened in the first 2/3 of the movie to happen because of what happens in the third.
I agree.
And I understand that he's got to have a twist.
Yeah.
There's got to be a twist in this movie.
There's a couple in there.
And I think at this point he just rolled the dice. He went, okay, well, it's a movie this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. People are gonna expect this to happen, so I'm just gonna have a different thing happen. Should have kept going with the first thing. That would have been a better movie, actually.
I agree. Just quickly before we go into spoilers,
does he write and direct? Does he write these in their entirety?
Yeah, I think so.
He needs an editor.
Agreed. Did you think any of these action scenes were okay?
No,
there's some little moments that are all right. But one of the last showdowns is just people standing around a car park, just kind of shoving each other into cars or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's not super compelling.
No.
It mostly looks nice. I like the color palette they've chosen for particular scenes. You know, when Sarah Paulson lines them all up in the room and she's giving them their drumming down, and
right?
they're all glasses in purple and whatever, and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's these things.
You like colours.
I love colour.
That's what modern filmmakers are banking on.
That's why I like Justice
The audience
League.
is like flashing colours and lights. They like jangling keys.
That being said, it is the worst movie ever.
It's the worst movie of 2019. For sure.
You haven't seen Replicas, Mason.
No, I haven't seen Replicas. That's true.
And we'll do spoilers?
Sure, yeah.
So
anyway, worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you want...
I guess, is there a way we can, before we go into spoilers, is there a way we can further illustrate why this movie is bad?
I think that thing you said, thing about negating the prior...
I'm not wrong, am I?
No, I don't think you are. But I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah,
well
it's
enough.
just... It's... I don't understand why... All right, well, spoilers for this movie.
Okay. Go.
Okay, so in this movie...
Yep.
Bruce Willis attempts to capture the Beast.
Yes.
They are both then arrested by the police. They are sent to this mental institution.
Yep.
Where Sarah Paulson is attempting to... she attempts to make them realize that they are in fact not superhuman beings. They're just people who, a sequence of events have occurred to make them think they're superhuman.
Yes.
And of course, in the institution is also Mr. Glass, who also believes that David Dunn is a superhero and that he has superhuman mental powers and what have you. So we get 2/3 of a movie where Sarah Paulson attempts to convince these people that they are in fact not superpowered. They're just regular people who have delusions.
Yep.
And then in the third act, it's revealed that she is part of a secret organization whose job it is to go from city to city, find people who believe they are superheroes, determine whether or not that is true, and if it is true, kill them.
Or take away their powers with the machine taking away Power Machine.
Do they have one of those?
Yeah, they give it to Sam Jackson.
That's a lobotomy machine, I think.
It's the zapper laser into your brain machine.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
But he took out the thing.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If that's true, you don't need the first 2/3 of the movie, do you?
No. Why are you trying to convince these people that they're not superheroes?
When you could just go... And again, they're okay with a lot of collateral damage happening.
Yep.
They're okay with people being murdered and cops being killed and like cars being flipped on people. If you want to determine if your goal is to determine if somebody has superpowers or not, you just go, hey, David Dunn, I hear you're unbreakable. I'm just going to test this with a scalpel.
Yep.
Looks like you are unbreakable. I'm going to leave the room. And then they just fill it with water and drown him because they know that's his weakness.
Yes.
They've established that's his weakness. And then they're done.
Why
wait around? In the 3 days that they hold these people... There could be some guy...
They put them together?
They put them together, they could scheme, whatever. There could be a guy... Because she goes town from
You mean
town
like
to town.
they do?
Yeah, there could be They do. There could be a guy in another town just going nuclear.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
There could be a guy, with whatever powers are in the other city about to mass murder some
people. Or whatever
people.
counts for a power in this universe.
It's not even... Their powers aren't even that... Okay, So you're like, okay, well, they break them down psychologically, and then they get them out. They all escape into the sewers and then out into the car park. the final.
You think there's going to be a bigger finale?
You think there's going to be a bigger finale?
Well, they say there's going to be.
Yeah, but anyway, so they go into this car park and then
they all shove each other into
vans. The Beast gets shot by a sniper.
Yeah.
He dies.
But he's not the Beast when it happens.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
And then he punches Mr. Glass, who dies.
Yep.
And then David Dunn is drowned in 3 inches of water. And that's it. And you go, oh no, what a twist. They've all... But before that happens, she leans in and she's like... To David,
as he said, his head dunked in.
The psychiatrist leans in and goes, "Just so you know, you did have superpowers."
Yeah. Why didn't the guy just hold his head under? I don't know why he's doing this weird bobbing for apples.
Exactly, that's right.
Also, and I said this to you just between us, fucking learn to swim, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to be great. You don't have to be great at it.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't just
here's the
have
other.
water.
You've all of these. Glass and David Dunn specifically.
Why is he weak when he gets out of the water?
Yeah, right?
I don't get it.
They both had 20 years. First of all, Bruce Willis learned to swim or do something to compensate for the fact that he's so weak. Secondly, we are to believe that it was in Mr. Glass's best interests to stay locked up for 20 years.
Yes.
Because his goal is to set up some cameras in the institution, watch record the superhero action that is taking place.
Yep.
And then as he dies, he's like, no, well, this is an
origin story.
I've got you guys. And then the footage is leaked to the internet.
Good
and
Lord.
then everybody believes in superpowers. We'll go back to that in a second.
Okay, yes.
But look, why does he think that the best use of his time is to be locked up for 20 years?
Well, I think for some of it, he didn't think it was, he didn't think it was real. Like, he thought it might have been, I thought they might have had him convinced at some point.
But
or he lost his purpose. But yeah, I completely agree with you.
For 20, like, he's not supposed to be, he's supposed to be the smartest guy, potentially who ever lived.
We had a great plan.
But here's the thing, though. In Unbreakable, he's smart enough to orchestrate a series of bombings that reveal a superhuman being, but he's not smart enough to conceal this from a guy who's not as smart as him, David Dunn. So maybe he's not that smart. But what I'm saying is, he's had 20 years as the smartest man in the world, arguably, and he hasn't been able to convince anybody to let him out of institutions. He hasn't convinced a judge that the evidence was tampered with. He hasn't convinced a guy to break him out of prison.
Yeah.
He hasn't convinced anybody that he's had time
This is
served
like that
and he's
Lex-
disabled and they should just let him out.
Lex Luthor's ultimate goal in Superman Returns was he got out of prison and tricked an old woman into giving
him a boat. Exactly, yeah. He's convinced that super beings exist.
Yeah.
And he thinks that the best he's found one, so he's just gonna give up.
Yes.
He hasn't gone, you know what, he could have spent 20 years finding more. His goal is to show the public that superheroes exist. He could have done that 100 times by now.
I agree.
Instead, his goal is to stay in prison for 20 years and release a video that no one would be convinced by.
Exactly. I don't understand also, she had him and the Beast,
Yep.
and she knew who Bruce Willis was. Because before he gets arrested, she goes, David Dunn, you're under arrest or whatever, just come with us. Why are you allowing any of that to happen? I don't understand. Why don't you just go to his house and just
drown
him in a bucket?
Get a big pot of water and dunk it on his head, and then just wait for him to drown in his bed. Easy. Anyway, so the internet, so they're like, first of all, she goes to a secret society meeting in a restaurant.
Yes.
And she goes, you know.
But to set that up, so she's got a tattoo, as they all do.
A little
Is that from
clover.
previous movies? I don't remember. But, so everybody's just talking in a restaurant, and as soon as one of them leaves, or the person who's not part of the secret society, the whole restaurant goes quiet, including the bar staff.
How are you gonna, like...
Can't you just hire a room?
Hire a room. But also, that would just mean they must all be in the restaurant just all day, waiting for, like, the lunch crowd to disappear and the dinner crowd to go.
You gotta do tending bar.
The Uber Eats guy would have to keep coming in, and they'd be like, okay, we can't say anything. The Uber Eats guy's here for some take. Anyway, but so she goes in there, and then the meeting starts. She goes, okay, so they were all real.
They're all real.
Just in case the audience is confused, they were all real, and we killed them. And then she goes to a comic book store later.
Oh, yeah, because the purpose of them is to wipe them out. Because it matters if society knows that a guy can flip a car or a dude can climb on a wall.
Or a guy's smart.
Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who cares? Why is that important?
And then...
What are you protecting people from?
Then she goes to this comic book store and she hears two nerds going, well, what's the best thing about this particular supervillain? You think you'll find, sir, is that when you think you've figured out what he's done, actually he's done a different thing and he's tricked you. You think you've got him, but he's got you, sir, I think you'll find. And then she's like, oh no, I thought I got Mr. Glass, but I was tricked by him. And then she realizes that he streamed the video of this altercation between the heroes and the SWAT team or whatever to the internet.
Just quickly though, why did he need to stream it? Because he only ended up sending it as an email.
Good point. Good point. He did send it as an email, didn't it? If anything, streaming probably would have been a dangerous way to go because there might have been a bandwidth issues. You know,
well that's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
I mean, I guess you got to wait till the footage is done before you send it.
Wait till it's finished rendering.
Yeah.
So the people see the video footage and...
It's of Bruce Willis bending a bit of metal.
If I saw this footage, I would not be convinced by it.
Okay, so what it is...
I would go, what is this an ad for?
Yes, there's a dude climbing on a wall, but that could just be a camera tilted.
Yep.
There's Bruce Willis bends a metal bar, but again... They've done this in a movie, so it can clearly be done. It can clearly be faked.
Yeah.
And a guy flipping a car.
And a guy being punched and dying.
All of these things in the real world people can do.
Yeah.
You can train enough to flip a car.
Yeah.
The people exist who can do that.
And again, we don't, like, from the outside, you wouldn't know if somebody had taken the seats out and the stuff out of the back and maybe they're fake tires or whatever, like,
and even,
there might be a spring under the car.
But even if it was real, even if I saw that and they went, you know what, this is 100% real, I'd be like, so what?
Yeah. But so
also, you just assume that they were these cracked out dudes.
Yeah.
Just hitting each other in a car park.
At one point, David Dunn, he's fighting the SWAT team guys. He shoves them into a shipping container.
Yep.
He puts the metal bar through and he bends it.
Doesn't need to bend it.
If I saw that, I'd go, well, the SWAT team guys are probably in on it, and there's probably like some slippery stuff on the road so he can slide them.
Yep.
And he's probably on roids or something. And then, he probably just flips them. And then the bar's probably made of rubber.
Yep.
So whatever. And at one point he kicks his cell door down.
Yep.
Maybe it wasn't attached.
Yeah, maybe the hinges were weak.
Also,
it's not like he just did it in one
Also,
kick.
here's the thing. In the movie, the psychiatrist is talking to the Beast and says, the reason you can climb up walls is because you've just practiced a lot and people in real life can do it. The reason you survived the gunshot is because it was an old shotgun and the pellets were weak.
You bet the bars
so you explained how people would not believe this.
Yes. And is it really that big a deal that stuff gets out, is what I'm saying?
No. You know what would happen? If people saw this footage, some of it would be put into one of those people are awesome videos.
Yeah,
you see them, remember, there'll be a guy leaping off a mountain and dunking a basketball or whatever. It's just you see them like a couple of times a year. It's just a supercut of people like they're skateboarding off a cliff and then they're high-fiving each other or whatever. It's like that. It would be edited into that. You would see it on Facebook. You would tag a couple of your friends in it, and then you would never think about it again for the rest of your life.
But this stops the world. Yeah, they're all sitting in a bloody... okay.
Oh my God, it's a guy who could potentially be stronger than some other guys. Oh my God, it's a really weak guy. Also, again, they just die.
They just die, exactly.
They all just die.
They all just die, yeah. I also, the way they talk about the laws of this universe, she's like, well, every time one of you pops up, another one pops up to counter it. There's 3 of them.
There's 3.
There's not an even number of them.
Where's the Horde's opposite number? There isn't one.
Like, maybe there's the correct amount of people in here.
Did you think that the ending was going to ramp up?
Yes!
Because we get... The Horde gets shot and he's there looking at his open wound.
Yep.
And we see David Dunn and he's drowning and we see... Mr. Glass and he's been punched and he's dying on the ground. I thought that something was going to happen.
I thought someone was going to fly.
Yeah, I thought that...
Like something definitively that sets them apart from real people.
Like I thought that... I don't know, there was going to be a revelation from that for the son or whoever, and they would all believe in themselves or something, or there'd be, and then the Horde would fully transform into the Beast and the bullet would just come out of him. And David Dunn would get up and just pick up a truck and start swinging it or whatever. And like Mr. Glass would, his mind would become the ultimate power and he could, fly or whatever. But nothing. No. And I think that was potentially the way we were expected it to go. And that's why Shyamalan was just like, no, just have him die.
Yeah, because nothing in this...
Give him a twist that they could never have possibly seen coming.
Because nothing in this convinced me that any of these people are superpowered.
Yeah.
I mean, because even with the Bruce Willis and he can see where people are from or whatever, he's like, he can tell what they're thinking. And like, she even explains that way to him as being like, well,
intuition.
People can read people and whatever, which is, a thing. So none of these things they're not that far apart from regular... All of these things are possible for the most part.
Yeah.
It's not a superhero universe.
It's really not. Do you...
Also, you'd think you need to do the final showdown because they were going to do it at the opening of this building. They keep talking about this building.
Yeah,
they're going to have the opening, as if a building opening anyone cares anyway. But
yeah.
I guess they would. But you'd want to do it there because it's a public place.
Yeah.
So people would see it. Again, that footage is not enough to convince anybody of anything.
Because you could go at least some, like if you do it at that building, probably the architect's there, and he's like, I built this with the most powerful steel ever built. How could he bend the thing? And then you'd have a reliable witness. But this is on a piece of private property that nobody goes to. It was built 100 years ago.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Like 8 people saw it,
8
and then
people
went,
saw it.
we won't say anything.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Secret society. I don't know. Learn to swim, Bruce Willis.
Learn to swim. What are you doing? Get yourself a little snorkel.
Is that it?
I think maybe it's it. I don't know.
While you're thinking about it, I'll do some... not everyone hated it.
Yeah.
Incineroar says, I enjoyed its pacing and it gave Unbreakable feel like a twisted, very morbid, but somewhat realistic, and it makes sense. Just wish there was more Samuel L. Jackson. Loved what we got of him. Massive Late Fee says, just saw Glass. I liked a lot of the ideas in the film and how it retroactively affects Unbreakable and Split. Oh yeah, there's the twist that they were on, his dad was on the train and they were on the same train.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Was it a radioactive train? Because otherwise I'm not interested. That's the other thing I was going to say. It would have been better. You know, I said that fantastical one where everybody picks up Bruce Willis picks up the whole building and throws it or whatever. That's a way it could have gone. I even would have preferred it to be the other way, which is, yeah, they all just were crazy.
Yes.
That would be that's a better outcome,
agree.
I feel.
And
I think maybe that's an option that he went, well, people will see that coming. So, but I think it's just to, like, imagine if they went...
No, Mason, they were all real.
Imagine if they did a few Marvel movies and they went, actually, they're all just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that would be... it wouldn't work at this point, but I think that would be an interesting direction to take it. To go, okay, well, here's 2 existing movies with supernatural characters, and because it's my property and I can do anything I want with it, I'll just say they're crazy. Yeah. And it's a movie about...
They're all crazy, and that guy's pretty strong.
Yeah, this is a movie about insanity, and now and you know, you could even go, okay, well, this is a team that's hunting down dangerously insane people who are deluded into thinking they have superpowers. That could work.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be a much better finale to this.
No, this was a better finale.
No, I don't think it was.
Going on from Massive Late Fee, Sam Jackson doesn't have a lot to do, but his character arc is the heart of the story. The visuals disappoint. Ben says M. Night put the arse in Glass.
Nice. A lot of people did glass half full, glass half empty reviews,
good.
I think.
That's good.
Yeah, Glass's ass is good though, I think.
Matt DeMillo
I'd rather
says,
eat glass.
I'd rather eat glass, yeah,
I'd rather put glass in my ass.
There is that video.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't Google it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Glass. What a fitting ending, as well as amazing way to expand
about
the
glass
universe.
ass. Anyway,
Don't
Google it. Never Google it.
You'll shoot yourself. Only thing I don't like was what seemed to be like a 4-story plot between Kevin and Casey. They only met once for like 60 seconds. Nando V Movies got a great YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. It felt super cheap. The third act was a joke. None of them looked cool in direct sunlight, especially the Beast. Mr. Glass explaining comic book monologues were painful. Bruce Willis's body double did a great job. And oh boy.
I think my son said a thing about this being a limited series. And a limited series is when a thing is just limited, and then it starts and then it has a middle bit and then it ends.
Shut up. The worst. I had another thought about that.
I'll just do one more quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Chip Self just says, it was shit.
Agreed. They didn't seem at all interested that David Dunn had a child. They weren't like, we should test him. We should bring him in and test him and see if he has the superpower gene as well. No interest in that.
I guess he doesn't.
What organization is this?
You just shoot everybody.
Yes.
You drown everybody in a puddle.
Yes.
I loved that bit where he's being dunked in a puddle. And she just comes up and crouches next to him and goes, hey, David, just so you know, you really are
the thing. That's also...
Why even tell him?
That would be the catalyst in a better movie where he goes, oh, I'm right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, maybe I am a superhero, and then things happen. And it's not a clever twist or a deconstruction of the genre to say that then he just dies. It's just dumb. Don't put it in then. You know?
Yeah.
It's not clever.
This is the best movie we've seen this year.
No, it's not.
What else have you seen?
Actually, I saw... check Netflix and see something that I've seen.
I saw The Favourite.
I also saw The Favourite.
It's really good.
It's good. Good movie. It's very bizarre, but it's... If you're talking about a weird psychological thriller of sorts, that's much better than this movie.
Oh, man.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No, that's about it, I think. I bet I can find something in my Netflix queue that I thought was better than that.
I didn't know The Good Place is back, but it is. There's been 3 episodes. I watched them all. Cool. Anyway, let's do What We're Reading.
Okay, that's what we're going to read.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? What are you reading, Mason?
Well, we both watched Barry, right?
We did.
HBO's Barry with Bill Hader as a skilled but very low rent hitman from Ohio.
Very convincing as a hitman.
Yeah, he's got some skills.
Yeah. You wouldn't think that... Oh, not that he wouldn't think, but he's clearly done some training and, you know...
But I watched... There's some behind-the-scenes stuff on the DVD, and apparently, like... Because there's an opening sequence where the members of the Chechen mob are out to kill him just on the streets, and he just gets in there and it's like, bang, 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 bang. Apparently, like... he was very panicked on the day that he would just shut his eyes during that take and just be like, ugh, fire blind. But he's
good.
So he's this hitman from Ohio who is sent to Hollywood to or Los Angeles to deal with some members of the Chechen mob, and he ends up through a variety of circumstances ending up in like a theater, like on stage.
Henry Winkler's
acting class, a theater group, and he gets some immediate positive feedback for acting, and he decides to start the acting life.
Yes,
and it's funny, but
it's
dark.
funny, and then it's the saddest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, right. It goes back and forth. Yeah, and he's just trying to navigate his life like with actors, and he meets a woman in the acting class
and covering
that he likes.
up his misdeeds and and all these things, and it's kind of like a good version of Dexter.
Well, currently, but Dexter was a good version of Dexter for the first season.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the first season was good.
Right. Yeah. On top of that, Mason, I've also I played the Resident Evil 2 demo. Do you know about this?
No.
You get 30 minutes to play the Resident Evil 2 demo. It's and you get one shot.
Oh, and then it logs your IP address or something?
Yeah, and then someone comes to your house and drowns you in 3 feet of water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's 3 inches of water, sorry. Just to clarify. I'll be getting it. I haven't played...
Imagine dying in a way...
I'll have to put these spoilers in. I'll
that's
extend
fair.
the spoilers. Yeah.
I was going to say, just you imagine dying in a way that like the first villain in the Daniel Craig in Casino Royale dies.
Yeah.
Just drowns him in a sink.
Love
Remember
it.
that? Yeah, anyway.
It's good.
Carry on.
Resident
Evil 2.
The last one I really enjoyed was 4.
I feel like there's already been a Resident Evil 2.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
There has been an
Is this the third
and they've
Resident
already
Evil
remade
2?
it as well.
Okay.
But this one, they've made it more like 4.
So is this a remake of the original Resident Evil 2? But it's a new engine and whatever.
So it's more like Resident Evil 4, like the over-the-shoulder.
Is it still that thing where you can't shoot and move at the same time?
No, you can do that now.
Okay,
They changed it, yeah. But I love Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil 5 is not very good, but you fight a giant bat, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Or something.
Yeah.
We played that together for a
bit,
did,
didn't we? Yeah. Giant bat.
So
it tries to hit you with a bus or something.
Yeah, I love a good remake.
What is the plot of Resident Evil 2 again?
You're trapped in a school. A police station. So
cool, man.
Yeah, it's a bit kind of like find the key and unlock the whatever.
Yeah, right.
But no, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I also watched, and we'll talk about it next week because I want you to watch it as well.
Yes.
I watched season 1 of Titans, which is
you watched the whole season.
In like
I'm probably not gonna be able to watch the whole
couple
season.
of days.
How many are there?
There is 11 episodes.
No, I'll try.
Okay,
I'll give it a bloody red.
Give it a few. I reckon you'll find it compelling enough to watch a whole bunch. I really liked it, and I think we should talk about it next week.
Okay.
Because I was saying to you earlier, it's not as much as, again, I have been enjoying Arrow and Flash and what have you.
Yeah.
They're very much procedural in that there'll be a cold opening and there'll be somebody killed by a weird monster, and then the team. Sorry,
or a dude with arrows.
A dude with arrows, and then the team will get on it and they'll find the guy and they'll solve the case and they'll beat a lot of people up. But
cool.
This is like a full season, like Prestige television. Like it's a saga over 11 episodes.
Okay.
And they have made some changes to some of the characters. But to me it feels like...
Does Robin wear pants?
Yes, he does wear pants. There's not even a flashback where he doesn't wear pants.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? But there are some changes, but I feel like when I first watched Iron Man, I'm like, they've made changes, but they work in this universe. Just say there are some changes to characters and revelations and timelines or whatever. Just say it's a different universe.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay, cool.
Action is solid as well.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, please do.
Because people are mixed.
Yeah.
But also more positive than you think a lot of people.
I agree. And
are.
I think the trailer had a lot to do with
that was
upsetting
not a good
people's
trailer.
expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, but that subverts that, doesn't it?
It subverts it in a funny way.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and there's some swears.
There are some swears I've heard.
The only thing that I don't really... The only complaint I had with it really is that there's a lot of it's like the first season of Heroes in that there's a lot of heroes and not a lot of villains.
Oh, okay, right.
It's just like... Well, I won't spoil what
I
there
remember
is,
the
but...
villains of Heroes was like a guy.
It was like a dude in a suit. It was a bunch of dudes in suits and lab coats.
And someone's dad.
And someone's dad was one of the guys in the suit.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Show. Whatever it was. I didn't like it.
Okay then. Hang on, I'm just going to check my list to see if there's anything else I watched.
Okay, well I hope you're loading the letters theme while you're doing that, Mason. He's already done it. What a pro. Oh, you want to do the letters theme now?
Yep.
Should I be talking?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Just talk over the top of the letters theme. 2019 professionalism. That's what we're all about.
I'll let it out the talking.
Okay, cool. Letters.
Yeah. Did you find anything else in your list?
No.
Okay.
I should find a letter.
I think you should, Mason.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll do some tweets.
Okay.
If you want to reach the show, #WeeklyPlanetPod on Twitter, or shoot us an email over weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. We'll read out some, if not all. Not all.
Definitely not all.
Have you got one? Why would you?
Just put the app up. What are you doing to me?
This is from Ryan Winslade. #WeeklyPlanetPod. What would you say to an old, vulnerable Bruce Willis appearing in a new Die Hard movie that feels like the original before he was indestructible, titled Old Habits, Die Hard?
I would be 100% on board with that.
Do you think he would do it? Has he got...
I don't know. I don't think Bruce Willis cares about any franchises or anything of any
Doesn't
kind.
Doesn't he hate Die Hard and hates
Probably.
when people ask him about Die Hard?
Sorry you hate the thing that built your career, Bruce Willis.
Why don't we talk about Moonlighting? Why don't we talk about Hudson Hawk?
Oh, Moonlighting.
Yeah, why don't we talk about
I've watched only the pilot of Moonlighting. I really enjoyed it.
I will never watch it.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Did
he get together with Sybil Shepherd?
But I don't think that... I would like to see a Die Hard movie where he isn't indestructible, as in the last couple.
So like 3.
Yeah, but I don't think he cares enough about fan feedback,
or he even understands,
I think he just does the script. I think he just comes in. I don't think he cares about.
According to Kevin Smith, who talks about him when on Cop Out, he just throws away the stuff that he doesn't want to do, just like this won't work or whatever.
Okay,
which
right.
is an odd.
I mean, look, I don't believe anybody on that set. I wouldn't believe a word that came out of anybody's mouth on that set. One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I liked it.
You would.
I didn't.
No, I was going to say.
So, they are doing the new Die Hard.
Yeah.
And it's also going to have a flashback. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But I think he'd just be like, why wouldn't I be the indestructible guy?
Yeah.
Because nobody likes it.
Yeah, nobody likes it.
But
also,
I guess
you don't look that fit. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've never been that fit. So that's why you're the indestructible guy. When you're falling out of helicopters and firing 3 guns.
Yeah.
No one cares,
Exactly.
man.
How's he firing that third gun?
This is dick.
Okay then.
This
is an email from Ryan Anderson.
Okay, 2 Ryans.
Hey guys, as James is the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan ever.
One of the biggest.
I was wondering what you thought about the new DBZ Broly movie doing 7 million box office on a limited one-day release. Who's Broly?
He's a Super Saiyan. He was born a Super Saiyan. He's got,
I'll get you to explain Dragon Ball Z.
I don't mind.
All right.
I can talk about Dragon Ball Z somewhat.
So it had a one-day release and it made $7 million.
Yeah, it did really well.
Okay. Does that mean it's getting a general release?
I think it's getting a home release soon.
And this is animated?
It's animated,
okay, right.
They're all...
Because they did a live-action version. It did not do well.
It was not popular or loved, and everybody hated it, and it was bad. Apparently this is a really good Dragon Ball Z movie, because they're not all great, but I might check this one out.
Okay, right.
I haven't seen most, if not all of them.
Does all the Dragon Ball Z stuff happen in the same continuity?
No.
Ooh.
Dragon Ball GT is a spin-off, and then...
Wait, so... Okay, right. Okay.
And then now there's the new season, and some of the movies don't count, I think, or are kind of ignored. But this one brings back, I think Broly wasn't... Broly, like Umbrella.
Like a Broly, yeah,
like
sure.
I'm not sure he counted anymore, but now he does again. I can't really remember. But apparently it's really good and the fights are amazing. So, yeah, I like Dragon Ball Z. I've seen up to the end of the...
So the fights aren't tiring at this point?
Well, I think the movie speeds it up, because the reason why a lot of the fights are interesting in the series is because you have to
hours of powering up, right?
Wait 180 hours to see somebody hit another person,
right?
And there's payoff to it. But obviously they have to speed that up for a movie, and I really like that new fighting game on the Wii, except for the terrible. There's a little open world you got to walk around at the start to pick your battles or whatever. And just give me a list of fighters I can just chew through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to get a little biplane there to the locations.
Yeah, exactly.
Japan. This is from Drew. And I've chosen this one because the subject line, very important.
Yep.
Very evocative. My wife hates James. Hey fellas, I love the show, and I listen.
Specifically me?
Yeah, I listen every week to both the podcast and the YouTube videos. Thank you. However, my wife hates both of you, and she cringes and gets mad and leaves the room when she hears your voices, but mostly when she hears James.
What?
So her 30th birthday is coming up, and I figured it would be funny for me if you could wish her a happy birthday on the show. Her name is Danielle Irwin, full name. And I'm sure you guys talking directly to her would be the gift she didn't know she's always wanted.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Danielle Irwin.
Yeah.
We hope that... Well, I'm sorry, I'm the worst person.
Say her name again. They say saying somebody's name is the most pleasant thing in the world to them.
Oh, really?
Like if you say somebody's name there, it's like, my name. Oh,
Okay.
you think about me. So I think you should do the honors.
Danielle Burnwin. Got her.
Got her.
Thanks for listening, both of you.
Yeah, thank you.
One of you indirectly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you leave the room, the podcast's still on, we still get that download number,
right,
so whatever.
Yeah. That's great. We do meet, whenever the 2 times we've done a live show, we sometimes meet partners who are clearly not...
Yeah, right?
not interested or care about anything that we're doing. Yeah. Which is fine.
Because often they'll show up and we look like them. Like we're just... So the partner's clearly like, what do you think these guys are any good? This is from Mike. I'm going to do tons of letters.
All right.
They're great letters this week.
Yeah.
This is from Mike. He says, Ben did a great job on the Spider-Man trailer.
He did.
Let's see. When it started and I heard Ben's voice, I thought, oh man. But then about a quarter of the way through, I was like, oh man, in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice.
He did really well.
There you go.
It's really good. Mr. Tuesday Tweeter says, #weekly
I get it.
After Endgame, everyone's brought back to life after the snap will have alterations to their DNA due to interactions with the Mind Stone. And voila, mutants in the MCU. Could that be a way to bring mutants in after the snap? That changes happen.
That's a good question.
Or are they always there? What do you
want? What do you want to happen?
Whatever the thing is that works well.
I feel like the idea of mutants is so ingrained with they are a metaphor for all the...
And they've been around for ages.
They're a metaphor for civil rights and they're a metaphor for people being different. And you can't be like, well, now they're just brand new. So,
yeah, I agree.
Like, they have to be intertwined with...
That being said, they were brand new when they started.
That's true, I guess, yeah.
And, they kind of took Homecoming back to the beginnings of Spider-Man.
That's true, yeah.
And they took a lot of influence from the 60s. So maybe it will be that they're brand new.
Yeah.
And that's how you make it... instead of being like, there were secret mutants for 60 years.
Yeah, nobody knows. I mean, maybe you could say, okay, well, Xavier's school's been around for years, but until this point, the mutations weren't that severe. Maybe you could do that.
You also got to move up the timeline. I mean, because Magneto's a Holocaust survivor.
That's true, yeah.
And they're going to have to, at some point in the comics,
yeah,
over the next few decades, going to have to get rid of that storyline.
Yeah,
or he was frozen and whatever. Right. So...
You could do... Oh, that's true. I mean, you could link him and Captain America together. You could do... you could say, okay, well, there's been a core team of X-Men and villains for a long time.
Yep.
But now that the Mind Stone any number of the stones have affected reality, more are cropping up, and so they need to go public with it.
Okay, right.
That could work. If you're like, well, okay, prior to this, there was just Wolverine and Cyclops and Magneto and Professor X. Do you
think they're going to take it back to that core X-Men team? To like
I'd like to see some new ones. I'd like to see because the MCU was started with kind of a Marvel B team.
Yeah,
I kind of would like to see what they will do with people who aren't Cyclops and Wolverine.
I'll do Gambit.
Yeah, do Gambit. Oh, imagine if Marvel did a Gambit one, good one. That'd be great.
Are you excited to see X-Men in coloured costumes, though?
Yes.
Well, then get ready for Dark Phoenix, Mason.
Oh, no.
Gear up.
God damn.
What do you think we're not going to see that movie, Mason?
Damn.
We're 100% going to see it. It costs $200 million, apparently.
Oh, man.
Any more letters before we wrap it up?
This is Christian.
Okay.
The subject line is...
very Christian, like a very Christian act?
Seems that way.
Okay.
The subject line is superheroes on Broadway.
It sounds to me like you're loving the subject line, like an intriguing subject line.
Yeah. Often a lot of the time it just says...
Intriguing subject
Sometimes it just says letter for the podcast. And I'm like, I'm not clicking that.
Because you already know what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah.
You're already in there
So
for
Christian
letters.
says, I'm a high school theatre teacher, and I love teaching my students about musicals you didn't know existed and really probably shouldn't. So he talks about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which we know, which was the ill-fated Spider-Man in U2 musical. But there is a lesser-known Superman musical called It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman.
I have heard of this.
With music by Charles Strauss.
Who's that?
He did the music for Annie, I think.
Okay.
It's a real thing, and you can still license it for performance. So here's my question. Should we do it at the next live show? Should we perform It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman the Musical at the next live show? I think we should.
2 stars on IMDb.
The villain is an evil scientist who wants to destroy the world to get back at Sweden for never giving him the Nobel Prize.
Sweden, specifically?
There's a TV movie version of it on YouTube, apparently.
Oh, man. We're going to have to cover that at some point. Yeah.
So his question, which superhero would you love or hate to see a musical about?
Just quickly, it was nominated for 3 Tony Awards in 1966 for Best Performance by a Lead Actor in a Musical, Best Performance by a Featured Actor in a Musical, Best Performance by a Featured Actress in a Musical. They didn't win any of them.
Oh, well.
Musical.
Yeah. He suggested Wolverine, Could you get Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman, obviously. That's a good choice.
He would do Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it lend itself to bloody...
Something, I don't know, something... What about Punisher the musical? It's a tragedy, mostly.
Well, you got to kind of balance it with... Because stage is limited.
Yep.
By what you can do.
Yeah.
I have been reading the Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark book about...
Is there the origin of Turn Off the Dark?
It is hilarious.
Yeah, I bet.
There's so many weird things that happen along the way.
So many broken limbs.
Yeah. But I won't get into it. But I don't know... Because it's hard to translate this stuff to stage and have it not look ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
And then... New musicals are so difficult to get off the ground, and writing an iconic, not just one song, like a series of songs that will stick in people's minds. Even people who've done it for years hit, then you get the Phantom of the Opera sequel where he's an accountant.
Is he really?
Yeah, pretty much. It opens with like he's just running a carnival and he's just sitting at a desk doing paperwork. I'm like, wow, this is thrilling.
Okay.
The guy
he's not at H&R Block or something like that, because that'd be funnier.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you think? What lends itself?
I think you're being a bit of a bloody naysayer. I reckon we can...
Maybe if you did like the Hulk and you did like King Kong, that kind the way... Have you seen King Kong?
Yeah, yes, I have. It's one of my favourites.
The way they puppeteer King Kong.
I feel we've talked about it on this show.
We've both seen it.
King Kong the musical is absolute... I don't know if they still do... Surely they don't
still... It's in New York at the moment.
Is it really? Because it is... Yeah. If you're in New York, or if you're in travelling distance with New York, you love giant gorillas and lasers and dubstep, get on... King Kong, because I saw it and it is hilarious.
Yeah, it's visually spectacular, but not good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, when I saw it...
Yeah, it's a Broadway production in 2018.
I don't know if they've tweaked it, but when I saw it, all the songs just end, and the entire audience, like, and everyone, and the audience were like... Oh, it just ended.
That's the end of the song.
That's just the end of the song.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing was just.
A guy sings a song about his dad and his dad's friends who build bridges.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe it'd have to be like more of a low key one.
Low key, good Mason.
Oh, Trickster God!
Raucous applause.
Thank you.
I've edited it out because it was so loud.
So raucous.
Yeah.
It'd have to be something like The Punisher, where it's more ground level and it's not just people flying about and swinging about.
Yeah, because that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you could do. I'm going to say Hulk. But you do it like King Kong. You'd have like a big Hulk puppet.
Oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. I think the Punisher.
Done.
Make it like a tragic opera.
Okay. Oh yeah. All in Italian.
Yes.
I saw the opera once. I went to the opera.
How'd that go?
It went for 100 years.
Oh wow.
And then in the end, everybody killed themselves.
And then what happened on stage? Yes. We're bringing it back.
Claire is from a long line of famous opera singers, right? Somehow. They all went mad and went broke or something.
All right, okay.
But yeah, she's from like a line of like Italian opera singers.
Oh, Claire Pavarotti.
Pavarotti, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
And so it was this thing, like this tribute to this guy, like who came to Australia and brought opera to Australia and whatever. And we sat through this thing and I'm sitting there like, I hate opera. I didn't know I did, but and then afterwards we went into the foyer and they're like, and now we're going to have an encore performance of opera in the foyer. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why am I doing this? I'm not built for this. It's not in my blood.
Yeah.
So opera, if it was shorter, and maybe if they didn't have everybody kill themselves at once, if they spread it out over the opera, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
also,
right.
I don't speak Italian, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I understand, sure.
Yeah.
But these days you could just hold your phone up and let Google Translate do it for you.
Would it be rude if I ever went again and I just put headphones in? Is that rude?
Yes.
Probably
Put
right.
in wireless headphones.
Okay, right.
And black ones so they can't see
Can't
them.
see 'em.
And then just listen to the bloody...
listen to my own podcast.
Listen to your own podcast. Exactly. Well, thank you, Christian, for that letter. Could he be the official burnt-out theatre teacher of the podcast?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like if you still taught, you might be at this point, James.
Bible could be. Yeah, look, and I love theatre as well. I love musical theatre, but I'm just not good at theatre.
Yeah, right.
Or performance, or talking in front of people, or dancing, or singing. Yeah, thank God for podcasts, eh?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
All right, is that the show?
That's the show, I think.
Yeah.
If you'd like, thanks for listening. One day I'm gonna segue smoothly into that.
You never will.
No, I never will.
You're never ready for it.
2019.
I always have to ask you.
Smooth segues.
You can't just take the initiative and end the show yourself?
No.
Because you wouldn't know where to do it? Like we'd be like 20 minutes in, you'd be like, so anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
No, there'd be 20 minutes of silence. You just sit there staring daggers at me at the end, and I'd just be like, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo, doo-doo-doo.
What else could be a musical?
What's what else? Oh, look, my Instagram post got 50 likes. Look at that.
Thanks everybody. I tuned out because I got thinking about Instagram. Thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate everybody coming back for 2019. It's absolute bloody delight. I missed doing this for a couple of weeks.
Me too, yeah.
I'm fine. I'm jazzed to be back, baby.
Yeah, man.
What are we doing next week? The
best of what's
most
coming up?
anticipated
What's coming
movies.
up?
What's coming up?
Yeah.
Let's see if you would like to support the show. First of all, you can tell a friend.
You can tell 100 friends.
Tell 100 friends. Tell them on your Facebook. Tell them on the gram.
Yeah, man.
You could subscribe. You could like it. You could bloody like the videos. You could watch the videos. You could give us a nice review.
Yeah, man.
You can also contact us at Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Gmail and Bandcamp.
Yes.
Justice League commentary.
We're going to try and do more commentaries this year.
Yeah, I
that
hope
being
so.
said, we did like
Look what happened last year.
Yeah.
Right? I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram.
It's a big gap, wasn't it?
I'm on Twitter at Wikipedia Brown, and I'm also on Instagram. You find me at Nick Meso.
I'm Mr. Sunday Movies on Gmail. No, I am actually.
You are?
But I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Yeah.
Nice. If you'd like to support the show monetarily,
Yes.
we'd appreciate that as well. You can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies.
That's right.
Chuck in a buck if you wish. We'd bloody appreciate it. You can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description.
Yes.
Give that a click and a do.
Give it a click
If you
and a
want to buy Unbreakable and Split on DVD or Blu-ray prior to watching Glass.
I mean, maybe just watch those and then 2/3 of...
2/3 of Glass and then leave.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate that. You can do it, or just buy what you're going to buy on Amazon anyway. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com.
Yep.
Love seeing those out in the wild.
Those bloody USB tapes.
USB tape, selling like the hotcakes.
Selling just like the hotcakes.
Like the hotcakes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Buy one, smear it in maple flavoured syrup.
Absolutely.
You know?
If you've got a most anticipated movie for next year, what is it?
Let us know. That'd be
Let us know.
great.
We might talk about a few next week. Or we will, but we might do some tweets.
We'll do some tweets.
About
Don't worry about it. If you've got an obscure or an anime or a bloody...
I don't want
if you're a
any
fan
of
of
that
Battle
shit.
Angel Alita and you'd like to hear about that...
we'll be doing an episode on that,
I
mate.
bet we will.
Is it Alita Battle Angel, though?
It's the anime's Battle Angel Alita and the movie's
movies.
Alita Battle Angel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work as well, I don't
Do you think that movie's going to do well?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
I think if they give it a massive marketing push, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think organically.
like a week
I don't
and a
think
half.
organically it would do well on its own because of what is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
I also watched an episode of Last Hope on Netflix.
What's that about?
It's like an anime. It looks great, but it's just a lot of screaming.
I love screaming.
It's a future where all organic life on the planet is turned into weird biomechanical monsters, and they've got to fight it with giant robots.
And there's a lot of screaming.
A lot of screaming. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Wait. Do I have another thing?
I don't know, Mason.
No, that's it.
Good.
Okay, grab that gem, you guys.
See
We'll
you
see you next week.
Goodbye. This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.